You're listening to The Bible Guys, a podcast where a couple of friends talk about the Bible in fun and practical ways.
Hey, everybody, good morning.
It's good to be here.
It is good to be here.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I usually do.
What wonderful thing is Chris going to say today? And I was just enraptured.
Sometimes I ramble, and then sometimes I just hand it over to you.
Just drop it.
That's right. That's right.
And then I'm not sharp enough to keep up with you. So,
well, you're probably prepping for something as well, my guess.
No, it's okay.
So, hey, my name is Chris. This is Jeff. We're the Bible Guys. If this is your first time listening in, we definitely encourage you to go and watch some of our archived Bible Guys podcasts. We have 796 of them. And then even 150 HC dailies before that. And so, anyway, welcome. And today we are in the middle of a series, and it's our favorite promises of God in different contexts.
Yes.
Okay. So we should call the series like Context or something, Promises of Context, or Promises in Context, maybe.
Well, that sounds riveting.
I think it does.
Yeah. I think it's just the promises. Because again, the premise behind these promises for us, why we're doing it, is because so many people stay worried, so many people struggle with their faith because they just don't know what God has promised. Right? If we know God's word, we have way more faith. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Mm-hmm. So our faith is built the more words of God we know. Right? Those two things go together. And so a lot of times when people are struggling with their faith, it's usually because they don't know God's promises. And so, hey, we're going to kind of bunch these promises together for the next 5 or 6, 7, 10 weeks, whatever it is we're going to do.
TBD.
And we're going to kind of bunch them together. So this whole week is just that God is with you. Right? That's right. If you're a follower of Christ, God's promises to be with you.
So before we dive into that, we have a segment, and this is a Would You Rather. There's 5 of them, and we're going to have to just pick.
I didn't look at these.
Whether it's me or you.
Okay.
You want to read the first one?
Let me see. Would you rather always have an itch you can't scratch, or always have to sneeze but never do?
Oh, mercy.
Those are terrible.
Both of those are bad.
Or always yawn when you don't want to.
Yeah, no kidding. Yes. Okay, so you got to pick one.
Yes.
Both are absolutely terrible.
They're horrible.
I would have to say the itch, I suppose.
So I feel a little itchy right now because I read it. Does that happen to you when you think or read about itching?
Well, same with the bugs, right?
Yeah.
You see a bug and all of a sudden, there's a bug on me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I've gotten used to an itch. Have you ever been in a situation where you had an itch and you couldn't scratch because like you're in a dentist chair or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm going to have to ignore it. Well, you find out that it is possible sometimes to ignore it. But I'm not sure you could ignore a sneeze.
It's hard.
That'll never come. That's terrible.
I was in the dentist chair and they had that thing in your mouth to keep your mouth all the way open while he was doing work on me. And I finally had to say, I'm going to what? So he couldn't take it out. And then I'm like, and he realized what was going to happen. He just covered all. I just sneezed. I was panicking. I was panicking,
depending on how much saliva builds up, you could do a geyser on that.
It was terrible. Yeah.
All right, number 2. Would you rather only be able to whisper or only be able to shout? So this is a very basic question, and yet very extremism on the results. What do you think?
Whisper. I think I would only want to whisper.
Both are terrible.
Yes.
But whisper is definitely the option.
Can you whisper loudly?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It doesn't say you can't.
Yeah.
And you could also whisper in a megaphone.
Yeah, that's right. In a microphone. Just carry a little microphone thing around with you and whisper in it.
Mr. Microphone?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Would you rather be able to talk to animals, but they all hate you? Or be invisible, but only when no one is around? I think we've done a be invisible when no one's around thing.
Have we?
Yeah, because we talked about there's no point
in being invisible.
Being invisible when
unless you're going to do something wrong. Yeah. Like rob a bank or...
Right. But on this one...
Or spy on somebody.
On this one, I don't want to talk to animals that hate me.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be...
Invisible and no one's around.
Yeah.
Because it's inconsequential.
Right. There's no consequence to it.
Yeah. But animals constantly talk to animals.
Shut up, you jerk.
Who hate you. You'd be like, all of a sudden you're just sitting there minding your own business. Here comes a cat, and you're like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
This cat hates me. Yeah. He's gonna tell me all about it. Yeah. Which, by the way, most cats hate you.
That's right.
Yeah, that's so
they do.
Funny.
Most cats would eat you if they could.
Yeah. You think
not
so?
big enough. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny. All right. Is this me?
Yes.
All right. Number 4. Would you rather eat only Halloween candy for every meal in October? Ugh. Or have to hand out raisins at every trick-or-treat event and defend your choices? Wow. There is no doubt in my mind I would hand out raisins and defend your choices.
I was going to say, I would too. I think so far we've agreed on every one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, none are good options, but I mean, are you kidding me? Only Halloween candy for the entire month?
I do love, as long as it's all chocolate, I could do it.
No.
I could do it.
You could not do that for 30 days.
I could do it.
You could not. Your body couldn't do it.
I could do it.
No, your body would reject it.
Okay, here's the last one. Would you rather have a permanent theme song play every time you enter a room or be followed by a guy with a kazoo who plays dramatic sound effects?
Ooh, I like the second one. I just don't know how long I'd like the second one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
It would be great for a while.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah, for a while.
Okay, I would rather have the theme song when I walk in.
Well, I would have to too, because, but then it also depends on like how long is the theme song.
And do you get to pick it?
Right.
Yeah.
Because if it's a long theme song, have you ever heard the old 80s theme songs? They go on forever.
Yeah, that's
right?
okay. I like it. So in baseball, when a guy's coming out to hit, he gets to choose his theme song when he walks out.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like. Those guys, they get to pick cool songs. I would pick Wild Thing. Remember from the
Thing?
Charlie
Yeah.
yeah. What was that baseball movie?
Major League.
Yeah, Major League. That's what I do.
Yeah. It's great. Wild Thing. And he had the skull and crossbones on his glasses. It's great.
What would your theme song be?
I think I've always chosen Bad to the Bone.
Oh, yes.
And so I think it'd have to be Bad to the Bone only because of my nostalgia connection to the song. So when I was like Big Salesman and they brought me up on stage, I chose that song back then.
That's funny.
And then ever since then,
that's it for you.
I've always chosen that song.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, have you ever heard Brian Regan talk about theme songs? Do you remember this when he was talking about his wife picked out Bee Gees?
I don't remember.
You remember this? So anyway, Brian Regan is one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, he's
of all
so
time.
funny. Yep.
He's really good. And he says, he goes, let me tell you about a thing that actually happened. He said, I was playing at this comedy club and apparently they play like theme songs for people, but I didn't know that and I didn't pick out a theme song. My wife was in the sound booth because she didn't know where to stand. And they said, oh, if you want to, you can go stand back in the sound booth. So my wife goes up in the sound booth. The DJ who plays vinyl actually looked over at my wife and says, hey, is there any music in particular that your husband likes? And so she doesn't know why he's asking.
Oh,
So she leans over and she sees all the vinyl and she just goes, he likes the Bee Gees. And so
that's going to be his theme song.
So listen, so he has no idea. He's in the front, back of the house, right? And he goes, they introduce him and they go, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Regan. And he goes, and he walks out to More Than a Woman. More than a woman to me. And he walks out and he says, I look around like, what is happening? What is happening?
It's so funny. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't pick that theme song.
It's so funny.
Okay.
So,
I have no idea how to transition into this.
Well, I was going to say segment. That was a silly segment.
Silly segment. You know what's not silly?
You know what's not silly? Deuteronomy. All of Deuteronomy.
Yeah, Deuteronomy. So Deuteronomy is the last book of Moses, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Those make up what the Israelites, the Jews, would call the Torah,
or the Pentateuch.
And yes, that's right, the 5 books, and it establishes God's law. It establishes God's authority as the creator. It establishes God's covenant to the people of Israel. Mm-hmm. It establishes how God rescues the people of Israel, sets them free at the first Passover, and then it establishes how God sets up his kingdom through the people of Israel, how they're supposed to worship, and their moral code that they're supposed to live by, right? And so that's all through Moses, and it's all during the 40 years that Moses is leading the people of Israel. And now, at this point, when you get to chapter 31, he's a very old man. There's only a couple of chapters left. He's 120 years old.
Yeah.
And God's letting him know, hey, you've run your race. You're about done. Let's button this thing up, and it's time to hand it over to Joshua.
Which, by the way,
that's where we're at.
That would mean that if they're at the end of their 40 years wandering in the wilderness, right? That would mean that he was 80 when he started. Yeah.
He was 40 when he fled Egypt. He was in the backside of the desert for 40 years, married Jethro's daughter, and was just a shepherd hiding. When that Pharaoh, the second Pharaoh, died, that's when God used him and sent him back to the new Pharaoh and to set my people free. He was 80 years old, and then he led them for 40 years.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
Charlton Heston was much younger.
Yeah. He was
younger.
He was 55 max.
No, I think he was younger than that.
Was he younger?
Yeah.
I don't know. His beard was white, so.
Yeah, well, they definitely put him in a. Yeah. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't make him look old.
Right. So here you go. Here's what it says in Joshua chapter 31. We'll read like the first 8 verses or so, maybe 10, 12 verses, 13 verses. When Moses had finished giving these instructions to all the people of Israel, so he gave all the laws of God, and then he reads them to everybody, he said, I am now 120 years old, and I'm no longer able to lead you. The Lord has told me you will not cross the Jordan River, but the Lord your God himself will cross over ahead of you. He will destroy the nations living there, and you will take possession of their land. Joshua will lead you across the river, just as the Lord promised. The Lord will destroy the nations living in the land, just as he destroys Sihon and Og, the kings of the Amorites. The Lord will hand over to you the people who live there, and you must deal with them as I have commanded you. So be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, and do not panic before them, for the Lord your God will personally go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. Then Moses called for Joshua, and as all Israel watched, he said to him, Be strong and courageous, for you will lead these people into the land that the Lord swore to their ancestors he would give them. You are the ones who will divide it among them as their grants of land. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. So Moses wrote this entire book of instruction in a book and gave it to the priests who carried the Ark of the Lord's covenant, to the elders of Israel. Now Moses gave them this command: at the end of every 7th year, the year of release, or the year of Jubilee is another term for that. During the festival of shelters, you must read this book of instruction to all the people of Israel when they assemble before the Lord your God at the place he chooses. Call them all together, men and women and children, and the foreigners living in your towns, so they may hear this book of instruction and learn to fear the Lord your God and carefully obey all the terms of these instructions. Do this so that your children who have not known these instructions will hear them and will learn to fear the Lord your God. Do this as long as you live in the land you are crossing the Jordan to occupy. And then the Lord said to Moses, it's your time to die.
Well,
right. And so he says, call Moses, or call Joshua, present yourself, right?
And apparently it's my time to yawn.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I've already been doing
You keep yawning.
Well,
it's a thing. You're a big fan of yawning.
Well, in low lights, yes, everybody knows that. But I in particular did not sleep well last night.
Didn't sleep well. You have a toothache.
Big time.
You are suffering this week of things.
Yeah, it was a mistake for me to wait to get this thing done. But I actually have a tooth cracked in half all the way up.
All the way up.
And so
you want me to work on it? I got my pocket knife with me.
Oh,
I don't know if I'd be good.
I just got chills all the way to the.
I don't know. I might be good at it. I never tried.
A pocket knife.
Yeah.
The dentist was afraid to move it.
Yeah.
And even touch it. But you're going to get your.
All you need is a rubber mallet. I'll go back in the back, find where we knock you on the head, take it out.
That wouldn't
got
work.
a pair of pliers.
That wouldn't work.
Huh?
You could knock somebody out with a rubber mallet.
I don't know. Maybe. I'll try.
Probably kill him before you knock him out.
I might be good at that too.
Never know until you try. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So Joshua becomes the nation's leader at this point.
Yeah.
And Moses is wrapping things up. And in this big set of instructions that he's passing on to the people and to Joshua, he gives this promise. Now, what's interesting is that yesterday, the book of Hebrews, in yesterday's podcast, the book of Hebrews quoted this verse.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 31:6.
And so here we are the next day reading Deuteronomy 31:6.
Yeah, the original promise.
The original promise.
Yeah, so yesterday he promised, don't get obsessed with money. Be satisfied with what God had, because God's never going to abandon.
He said, remember.
Right.
The Lord will never fail you.
Right.
And he'll never abandon you.
And he's quoting this passage, but doesn't have anything to do with money.
Correct.
It has everything to do with the battles we fight in our lives.
Right, which is why I said, hey, we should call it context.
Yeah.
Because it is the promise that God will never fail you, he'll never abandon you. And you could apply it to money.
Right.
Or contentment or whatever it is, gratitude, right? And so it's the promises applied to different contexts, and which is wonderful. And what's interesting about this is that that he gives us instruction that he'll never leave you nor forsake you. And here's what I want to mention before we even talk about this exact thing. That gives us confidence that promises of the Old Testament can be applied in the New Testament.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm only saying that because some people may not think so.
A lot of people dismiss the Old Testament. Oh, that's just Old Testament. And they forget that the New Testament writers, including Jesus, quote it all the time.
Yeah. At worst, they'll dismiss the Old Testament.
Yeah.
But at best, they'll say, well, maybe that promise was given just to the people and not to me.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so they'll say, oh, isn't that a contextual promise?
Right. That was a promise only to Israel.
Correct.
Right.
Right. But here's the book of Hebrews. The writer of the book of Hebrews, because we don't know who the author is. He's anonymous. Some people think it's Paul, by the way. Yeah. And some people don't. Who do you think it is?
I think it's likely to be Paul or Barnabas.
Huh. I'd love it if it was Barnabas.
Yeah, we don't have a writer. And that's
a question in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, we just said that last week. Yeah. It would be awesome if it was Barnabas, because Barnabas always takes a back seat. Yeah. So for him to be the anonymous writer,
it'd be cool. Great.
But there's some people who think it might be Priscilla and Aquila that they wrote it, and that's why there's not a name on it, because it would be Priscilla and Aquila writing it.
Right.
So there's some of those. I don't know. There were a few really great teachers during that time. Apollos is mentioned. Mm-hmm. I don't think Peter wrote it. Peter wasn't really a theologian.
It doesn't feel like Peter's style.
Yeah, right.
And
so this was an extreme theologian who was extraordinarily capable in connecting the Hebrew beliefs to the Jesus movement.
Yes.
And you connect those, and that was very skilled. There's only a few people. It'd be a missionary kind of a person that could do that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's Barnabas, Apollos, Priscilla, Aquila, or Paul.
Paul would definitely understand it.
Yeah. The style is a little different than some of the ways he writes in some of the other books, but yeah.
So anyway, the point is that some people would dismiss it. And so the writer of Hebrews is saying, hey, you can take this promise that was given in this context to the children of Israel, and you could bank on it, because the promise is about God. Right? So the promise isn't about some sort of circumstance that they find themselves in. This promise is about God's nature. It's about who God is. Yeah. And God is never going to leave you. God is never going to fail you. He'll never abandon you. And what's interesting is that's Hebrews, what was it, 13:5 or whatever it was. But this one is Deuteronomy 31:6, and it also has more words. It says he will always. It says he will go before you, doesn't it?
Right.
So it adds to it. It's not only will he never fail you.
The reason why I can be strong and courageous heading into the battle is because God's already there.
Right.
I don't have to be afraid.
Right.
Hey, if the biggest, toughest person you know is out in front walking into the problem, you're going to be okay following them. That's what he's saying. So you can be strong and courageous, and you don't have to be afraid. Don't panic. The devil loves it when we panic. He's a roaring lion. He loves it when one of the gazelles panics and leaves the herd. Right? Don't panic. Don't make a decision while your decision maker is broken, because God is personally ahead of you.
And he says
he's already there.
He says, "Be strong and courageous" 3 times.
Yeah.
And so think about this too. This is also a speech that he's given to the next generation, and this is the speech that they should have listened to 40 years ago.
Yes,
right?
100%. That's why he keeps saying
yes,
this.
yes. So he's saying
God's already there. Be strong and courageous.
God is going to give you the promised land. So Joshua and Caleb and the other 10 spies go over the wall. They come back. Everybody goes, oh no, they're too big.
We're like grasshoppers.
They're
giants.
And it was only Joshua, who, by the way, strangely enough, is now the next leader.
Yeah, he's the one that God chose. Yeah.
But he was the one that tried to rally the troops. He gave the Braveheart speech, right? Would you trade from this day to that? Had one chance at freedom, right?
Yeah, right.
He's that guy.
Right.
And he says,
him and Caleb.
And then he gives this big rousing speech. And the very next verse says, and the people wanted to stone him.
Right.
And because you'd expect people to go, yeah, but they don't. They want to stone him.
Kill that guy.
Kill that guy. Shut him up. Because I ain't going over there.
Yeah, exactly.
You see those guys?
Right.
So they had fear. That's what they struggled with. They struggled with fear.
Yeah.
And many times when God gives promises, isn't it true? We struggle with either we don't understand the promise, right? Or so we have lack of clarity. Like, what does that mean? And sometimes we do understand the promise. In this case, they understood it perfectly clear. Go take over the promised land. They just struggle with fear.
Right.
And then sometimes we actually we understand it and we try to get over our fear, but then we struggle as the situation unfolds. We struggle with probability, right? Like, there's no way God can defeat these odds. Well, in this case, because they struggled with fear, they were punished, and they had to wander the wilderness for 40 years. And so Moses, he doesn't get to go into the promised land because that's a whole nother story altogether, right? But he's saying it's now your time, and he's connecting the promises of God to their fear.
Yeah.
And he's saying, be strong and courageous because XYZ.
Because I'm out ahead of you. I'm already in the thing that you're afraid of.
Yes.
Right? They were afraid of Jericho, which was the most powerful city in that region. They were afraid of the giants that had been there before the last time they were afraid of all those things. And he says, I'm already there. Don't worry about it. Hey, I'm here looking around. It's pretty great. Come on in the water, right? That's what he's saying. Yeah. Come on, man. I'm going to be there with you. So there's this thing that happens right before we start in the first verse of 31. But you remember, the Bible wasn't originally written with chapters and verses.
What?
I know, it's shocking.
What?
So this is just an ongoing event that's happening. Moses has just read the entire law to the people, the whole law. He reads the whole thing, all of what we would consider the book of Deuteronomy. He reads the whole thing. And then he comes down to the end and he says, today I've given you a choice between life and death, between blessings and curses. And now I call on heaven and on earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life so that you and your descendants might live. You can make this choice by loving the Lord your God, obeying him, and committing yourself firmly to him. And this is the key to your life. And if you love and obey the Lord, you will live long in the land that the Lord swore to give to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's talking about big if-then promises.
Yeah, that's
right. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. So then when he's finished, that's how we start chapter 31. When he finished giving these instructions, he says, now listen, I'm 120 years old. Let's talk about what's going to happen. God's going to put Joshua in charge. So be strong and courageous. He says it 3 times. He reminds him of the promise. I'm never going to forsake you. I'm never going to abandon you. 2 times he mentions that. And then when he's all done with that, listen, I'm going to go ahead of you and you could trust me. Choose life. Don't choose death. If you, the way you choose life is obeying me and loving me and making me first in your life. And then I'm going to make all your wildest dreams come true. Then if you choose not to obey my commands, then it's just cursing. And then there's all curses in your life, and you're going to wonder, why are you oppressed all the time? He wrote about that earlier in that same chapter. So then when he gets to this, he says, so be strong and courageous because I'm ahead of you. Just like he just promised, you will live long in the land the Lord swore to your ancestors. Mm-hmm. I promised it. So now I'm already there. Be strong and courageous and follow me. Don't be afraid. And then he pauses and goes, so now make sure you tell your children these things every year. Same festival every year. Read this entire book to them again because they don't know what you know. They haven't experienced the blessings of God in their life like you did. It's just a story for them, so they need to learn it for themselves too. And a lot of parents, I think, struggle sometimes. Oh, I don't want to force my faith on my kids. I want my kids to choose for themselves. And God never endorses that idea. God says, I blessed you. Now you teach your children that if they will obey me and they choose life and not death, then I will bless them too. If they obey me and make me number one, right? And so he connects both their current promises. He says, so that you and your children, you and your descendants might live. That's what he says. And then he reaffirms for them, be strong and courageous because I'm going out in front of you. And then he says, so don't forget to tell your kids. Mm-hmm. And that, I think all of those things go together for us, that it's supposed to be an all-encompassing life of knowing God's words, claiming his promises, and teaching our children to know God's words so they can claim their promises.
Yeah.
The promises of God.
Yeah,
they're not just for you; they're for your whole family.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's definitely an all-encompassing speech because it's Moses' last one.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's giving this grand speech about your entire lives, right?
Yeah.
Live this way and then pass it on to your children. And talk about a vision. Moses is having a vision of future generations. Hey, listen, I've been with you a long time. I care about you. God has chosen me to lead you, and I'm passing the baton. And this is the new regime. This is George Washington to John Adams, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the big deal. And then he says, so let me just give you these overall instructions. And then, and I love the fact that. And again, this is a whole nother sermon altogether. I just can't help not to say this, but like when Moses started leading them 40 years ago, God parted the Red Sea, right? That was the first, the sort of the culmination of the deliverance from the first Passover and everything else. And so they crossed the Red Sea. They were delivered out of slavery, and then they're gonna take the Promised Land. They have to take their licks for 40 years for an entire generation. And now, they haven't seen anything like the Red Sea, but they've heard about it from their parents. And then in this verse right here that you read, it says, he will not cross the Jordan River, but the Lord will go ahead of you. And then he says, Joshua will lead you across the river. Mm-hmm. And then what does God do? Yeah. God gives a mini parting of the Red Sea in the parting of the Jordan River with Joshua. And so going into the Promised Land, once again, God is reminding the people the same thing. Yeah. I am with you.
Right.
I will never fail you. I said it back then, and I'm saying it again.
Yeah.
I did it with the Red Sea, and now I'm doing it with the Jordan River. I did it with your first leader, and I'll do it with this leader. And so God's consistency and symbolism of parting the Jordan River, I just love, because again, it's just reminding the people of who God is.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yep.
So
that's fantastic.
That is our time. So, hey, we will see you hopefully tomorrow on the Bible Guys.